back to my studio. Hello and welcome if this is your first visit to my studio. A very warm welcome to everybody on this beautiful spring day. Well, the daffodils are coming up and the birds are singing. It's been a bit wet, but you know, we take that in our stride in Cumbria. I always have my wellies at the ready because you never know when you might need them. And today I'm going to talk you through my phone case make. I'm a bit scared because I haven't actually made it yet. So this is me doing the intro before I've actually done the making. So hopefully there'll be a positive result out of all of this. I wanted to say also big thank you again for subscribing to my lovely channel. I'm really loving it. I'm getting some gorgeous feedback from people saying the nicest things, and I'm getting questions which I like, because if there's anything I can help you with stitching or threads or machines, that's fine. You know, I'm very happy to answer that. Within reason, of course. If I get thousands of people asking me things, I might have to go and have a lie down and a rethink on that one, but at the moment it's just very manageable. I am thinking I might have to do a giveaway or something very exciting soon, because I am nearly at 1,000 subscribers. How did that happen? You know, it's incredible. This time last year I sat in here with my phone and I sort of did some little videos thinking, well, that might be a contribution to what's going on in the world at the moment. An opportunity came up and I took it, and then I was very brave and I went onto YouTube and I haven't looked back. And I'm just so grateful to all of you for supporting me in this venture. I love what I do. I love showing what I'm making. I feel as though it's a very gentle process. It's a very heartwarming process. It's full of colour and texture and joy, basically. So if you're appreciating that, that's great. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because obviously that helps me boost my channel and get to more people, which is really lovely. So I think the best thing to do is to move my camera over so that you can see what I'm going to be doing next. This is the really scary bit. When you've made a beautiful piece of embroidery and you're going to cut into it and turn it into something practical, it's a little bit scary. I used to, many years ago, make waistcoats out of, I used to dye silk. I used to do painted silk fronts and make them all beautiful. And then the last thing I'd do I'd be putting buttonholes on the very front. And that was the last action I had to take to make the waistcoat work. And if I made a mess of that, that was really sad because the whole waistcoat was kind of wrecked and ruined. But today it's not going to be like that. I'm going to work out how to do this and I'm going to show you my process, and who knows how the phone case is going to turn out. I think it's going to be lovely. I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm just delighted with the fabric that I've created, and that's what I'm going to show you next. Okay, so here's my beautiful piece of fabric. I'm absolutely delighted with it. It looks really lovely now, and it's just ready to be cut up and turned into a lovely present for my friend. So what I've got here, which I showed you I think before, is my little frame, which gives me an idea of where I might like it to go to. As I say, I'm going to show you the design I'm sort of coming up with. I'm in the middle of a process here, I will be honest. I don't quite know how I'm going to do this, but I thought, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So let's put that to one side for a moment. What I have made, you'll laugh at this, is 4 pieces of cardboard that I've cut out to the size of my friend's phone, okay? So I've got the depth and I've got the size, which gives me hope, which means what I've done here is I've mocked up. I wanted to make a mock-up so I can see the sort of size I need it to be. And obviously it's going to have lining, so I need a little bit of give and take in it, and I'm going to make it, I think, with a simple little button that comes over the top. I'm keeping it really simple. I've had a little gander online. I have to say, looking on YouTube and stuff, it's really helpful to see how you might go about this, because I really wasn't very sure how technical it had to be. And I think a little pouch, simply stitched, will be fine. So this is roughly the size I think it needs to be, actually, because by the time I get a bit of lining into that, if this was the outer, I think I would be happy with that, and there'll be a bit of folding down of some kind going on there. So I'm going to stitch this bit, and then I might be brave and do some cutting out and stitching of the main bit, or I might just do the lining first. I haven't quite decided, but watch this space and I'll show you what I do. Okay, so this is the trial lining that I've made. I've actually done one with a roundy corner and one with a square because I don't quite know how that's going to work either. I'm going to turn it the right way round just to give me a rough idea of how it's going to work. Although actually, no, that doesn't make sense, does it? But that's how the outer would work, isn't it? See, I tell you honestly, I'm just making this up as I go along. Look, there we go. So that's not bad actually, and actually I think that could be the outer size rather than the inner size. I think we could still get some felt into that. So I might make the felt version slightly smaller. But what I do like, I think I do like the curvy corner one. If I just get a pin cushion and just pull that out a little bit. There we go. I think the curvy corner looks nice. Oops. I think the curvy corner looks nice. That would be a bit too square. And I think that could be the outer quite nicely. And I'll make a liner next. So I'm going to make the liner first, I've decided. And then I know that that's going to fit the phone and the phone's going to be able to come in and out easily, because I think that's the main thing as well. So I shall do that next. So this is me. I've been extremely brave. I'm taking my big orange scissors. It had to be my orange scissors really for this job. And that's my two pieces, which I have to say is just about the right size when I get it stitched, and when you've got allowing for the depth of the phone, and obviously the lining going inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tidy up these edges, and maybe I might add a little bit more fabric onto there and just make sure everything's ship shape, and then I will put the two pieces together and stitch round into the shape, and then I'll work out how I'm going to do the tops to neaten those up. As I say, it is very much just work in progress and a step at a time. Once I suppose what I should have done really was made another one, a throwaway one. If you make one and then you have a model to work from, but this is okay, it's working for me. I'm taking it real slow, and if anybody else wants a phone case, I will know what to do next time. Not that I'm in a rush to do that, but it is a really nice, it's quite a nice little project actually. It's not been too big to do. So I think finishing these bits off next, and then I will do the stitching round, which I will show you. I've added some more fabric onto these little end bits, so I know I've got plenty. There's no bits that are going to be bare, if you like. And having cut them, I'm now going to just put the two together and match up the pattern down the side. And I'm just going to flip that one over onto there. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, sorry, if it matches exactly. But I'm going to do my best to get it to match, so you get a nice flow of the pattern going down the sides of the phone case as well as sort of across it. I'll put my pattern piece back on here for me to stitch around, and I'll make sure that I've got enough at the top and I've got enough at the bottom to add any overlaps that are required. There you go, and I will stitch around there, and then I'm going to work out how I'm going to put the two together. I think I've got an idea, but I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to do it yet. And I'll just pin this on here. Ooh, it's a little bit thick for pinning this paper, but never mind. It's all a bit rough and ready, but it'll work out. It'll be fine. Okay, so the process has been going forwards and backwards as I keep remembering how to actually do this. I used to make handbags, a lot of handbags, and I've kind of forgotten how to do the process, so never mind. The important thing is, look at that. Isn't that looking nice? I'm really pleased with it. I have stitched onto the back a loop which will eventually come over there on the front, and there'll be a button to go on the front there. So I've chosen a nice simple button to go on there. Now I have changed my mind again. I think this has been a process of changing my mind mostly. This was the felt inner that I made to go inside, and I've realised that that's far too thick if I'm going to actually get a phone in here as well. And because I decided to put the wadding on, I don't really need that felt. I was kind of using felt because I thought it'd be nice and soft for the phone to be in and snuggled up with. So I think if I just used the Vilene, which is what I did originally on my first sample, if I just used Vilene and the fabrics, that would have been great to use this, but because I've added wadding in, I'm not going to use that. So I have created, in my lovely shiny, terrible to use lining fabric, which shreds like nobody's business. So I've very carefully made a liner for this. It's open at the bottom here, which I will explain about, and I've actually I've zigzagged the edges. I've left plenty at the top and plenty at the bottom, so that if it shreds a little bit, it's not going to completely go into holes and ruin the lining. I've also heat gunned. I have a heat gun which actually seals some of these edges, which is quite useful to do again, so it doesn't fray too much. So that's a good idea. So there's different ways of doing this, but today I'm going to do it by putting this inside here, which looks a bit crazy, and it's slightly tighter because the lining is slightly smaller than the outer, just slightly, okay, like this. So I want that right down to the bottom, okay, and obviously I did say there's a hole there, but that's going to help me turn it the right way around shortly. If you've done this sort of thing before, you know what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to be basically doing is I'm going to be stitching these bits together. Now I've left a lot of excess on there, it's probably a bit too much actually. I might just trim it down. Now I'm at this stage and I can actually see where that needs to be. I can cut that off, but leave a little bit extra, as I say, for in case of fraying, because it's already fraying. It's terrible stuff, but it's good to use because it's going to make a nice lining. So I'm going to pop that loop down so that doesn't get, whoo, it's popping up again. Pop that down there, and then we're going to pin that in place. That's not a very good pin, try a different pin. It's going to be a bit tricky to do this because that's quite small, but I'm going to stitch around there and then we'll be able to turn it the right way around magically. Okay, so this is what it's looking like now. It's like a big fat orange sausage. So I've stitched round inside there, basically all the way around in there, which was fine. I've cut this down and trimmed it, and I've actually heat gunned that. And now I'm going to try and show you how this goes. You open up the bottom, and this, you have to do it very, very carefully because this fabric, as I say, shreds quite easily. But you see, look at that go. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. We have created something that looks absolutely crazy. And then what we'll need to do is I'll need to stitch the end of this. Okay, so I'll be pinning that. Nice, I'll do it better than that when I actually do it. But basically, I'm pinning the end of that, and then that'll get pushed in there. Pin and stitch it. That'll get pushed in there. And we've created a beautiful lining for the phone case. So I'm just going to fiddle around, get that pinned nicely, get it stitched, and then I will work on this next bit to make it look and get it finished. So I am really pleased with this. I'm just about to sew the button on. I will just show you. I have top stitched around here. I did that twice, partly because I think it just is stronger if you top stitch it a couple of times, and then also then it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wobbly if you do it twice. It's my usual motto: if you don't like what you've done, do it again, you know, go over it twice. So I'm just trying to stitch this button on. I've measured where it's going to go. I think the loop should be, because this is elasticy, it's got a bit of stretch to it, and I'm just going to sew this on. And I have to say I'm really chuffed with what I've made. It's been a really interesting process to do. I think we're ready to go round and round with that now, I think. Or maybe I'll do one more over here. So I'm just going to wrap this around here now. There we go. That tightens it in. And we'll just finish that off. Right, I think that's done. I might just push that through there once more. It's quite hard to push this needle through because there's a lot of stitching and a lot of layers here, so hence my thimble, my trusty old thimble, which I think belonged to my mum. I don't know, it's one of those things I don't use very often, but it's really useful when you just need it. Okay, so we're going to just snip those threads, and look at that. I am so thrilled with that. I really am. I'm just delighted with how it's turned out. I think the colours are gorgeous. I think it's going to be a phone case not for everyday use, because I think it might just get a bit sort of wrecked by everyday use. But look, I even stitched this onto the back and put a piece of lace over the top so that that kind of disappears in. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this with me, watching my process, and seeing what we've ended up has been lovely, and it might inspire you to make yourself a phone case. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to rush into making another one just at the moment, but I have enjoyed doing that very much, and I've really enjoyed sharing it with you. So that's all for today, folks, as they say. I will see you again soon here in my studio, and we'll see what's going to be next. Have a great week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.